You know, it has always seemed to me extraordinarily curious, this frantic anxiety that we have to get somewhere. When we listen to music, we are not in a desperate hurry for the composition to end, are we? We don't listen to a symphony just to hear the final crash of the cymbals. If that were the point, well, the fastest orchestra would be the best. We wouldn't bother with all the in-between bits, the adagios and the allegros. We would just play the first note and the last note, boom, done. But we seem to treat our lives just this way. We are brought up in a culture which is pathologically obsessed with the future, with the result. We are educated to get on. We go to kindergarten so we can get into first grade. We go there so we can get to high school. We go to high school to get into college. We go to college to get a job. We get the job to make money, to get ahead, to get that promotion, to buy the house in the suburbs, to put our children through the same system, so that finally, at the age of 65, we can retire. And when you finally retire, you've spent your entire life preparing for a future that has now essentially run out. You have arrived at the final chord, and you have missed the entire point along the way. You have completely missed the music. The point of music, you see, is the listening. It is the movement of the sound, the pattern of the vibration, as it unfolds in this present moment. The music is an end in itself, and so is life. It is exactly the same with dancing. You don't dance to arrive at a particular spot on the floor. The point of the dance is the dancing. It is the wiggle. It is the rhythm. It is the glorious, flowing, and quite nonsensical pattern of movement. You are enjoying the process. But we are trained to work. We are trained to make a living as if life were something you must make, rather than something that is. We are always striving, always pushing. We look at the river and we think, how can I get to the other side? We don't look at the river and simply see the flowing. We don't participate in it. We try to conquer it. We try to channel it. We try to use it to get somewhere. And this is all because we have this curious sensation of being a separate I, a little man, a little ego inside the skin bag who is running the show. And this little I is terrified. He is terrified of not making it. He is terrified of the future. He is terrified of death. And so he spends all his time building walls, making plans, seeking security. And he is so busy doing that he forgets to live. He is so busy trying to arrange the end of the song that he cannot hear the note that is being played right now. This little ego believes that life is a problem to be solved. But life isn't a problem to be solved. It is a reality to be experienced. It is a pattern to be watched. Think of it. The universe is not going anywhere. Where would it go? It is not on a journey. It is not trying to achieve a great goal at the end of time. As far as we can tell, it is just happening. It is expanding and contracting. It is pulsing. It is playing. It is vibrating. It is singing its song. And you are a vibration in that song. You are not listening to the song of the universe. You are the song. But the separate I, the anxious ego, breaks this song down. It says, this part is good, this part is bad, this note is pleasure, I must hold on to it. This note is pain, I must get rid of it. But you cannot have the music without all the notes. You cannot have the melody without the rhythm. You cannot have the high notes without the low notes. You cannot have the sound without the silence in between. If you tried to hold on to one note, the music would stop. It would just be a dreadful, monotonous drone. And this is what we do. We try to hold on to pleasure. We try to freeze the dance. We try to make the music stop on a high note. And the result is, of course, that we kill it. We turn the flowing, living process of life into a static, dead thing. A memory. We are terrified of the downbeat. We are terrified of the silence. We are terrified of the end of the note. But the end of the note is what makes the next note possible. The death of the sound is its birth. And so we are always living in fear of the offbeat. We are terrified of the pauses. But look, what is it that makes music music? It is not just the sound. It is the silence between the sounds. It is the rhythm. It is the structured interval. Without the silence, the space, there is no pattern. There is only noise. It is the same with all of life. We are brought up to value the solid and to fear the empty. We value something and we are terrified of nothing, but you cannot have one without the other. Can you imagine a world that was all solid? Where would you move? Can you imagine a flag without the wind to make it wave? Can you imagine form without space? It is, of course, impossible. The great secret of the Tao Te Ching, is that the usefulness of a pot is the emptiness inside it. That is what you use. The usefulness of a window is the hole in the wall. The usefulness of a house is the space you live in, not the walls and the roof. But we have identified ourselves with the walls. We think we are the solid part. We think we are this little anxious ego, this thing, this me, which is separate from everything else. And this me is in a desperate struggle to get things, to achieve things, to fill up the space. And this is why we are in such a constant state of panic. We are identifying with the form. We are identifying with the note that is, by its very nature, disappearing as it is being played. We are trying to cling to a sound. And the moment you cling to it, you've lost the melody. You've substituted the living music for a dead memory of a note. But what if you are not the note at all? What if you, the real you, the self that you are actually, is the entire song? What if you are the sound and the silence? What if you are the something and the nothing? What if you are the entire field of consciousness, in which this whole thing, this whole show appears and disappears? When you go to sleep at night, where do you go? When you were born, where did you come from? You see, we are looking at it all backwards. We think that first there is the I, the thinker, and then I have experiences, I hear the music, I live my life. But that is not true, is it? First, there is experiencing, there is happening, there is the music. And this I, this thinker, is just one part of the music. It is a thought arising in the field of experience, just like a sound. The problem is, we have given this one thought, the thought of me, the job of being the conductor. And this poor little thought is in a terrible state. It is running around with its little baton, frantically trying to control the rest of the orchestra. No, not that note. Hold that one longer. Stop the percussion. And the orchestra. Well, the orchestra is the universe. It is the Tao. It is the great self-playing pattern. And it just plays. It doesn't listen to the frantic little thought that calls itself I. And so the I feels perpetually frustrated. It feels guilty. I am not doing it right. I am failing. I must try harder. But what if the I is not the conductor? What if the I is just a listener? What if the most intelligent thing to do is to stop trying to conduct the music and simply listen to it, to realize that you are not making this happen. You are not making your heart beat. You are not making your nerves feel. You are not making the sun rise. It is just happening. It is all just playing. This is you, the whole of it. The good notes and the bad notes, the crescendos and the silences, the life and the death. When you see this, when you really see this, the anxiety which we have, this frantic need to get to the end, it just drops away. Why? Because you realize there is nowhere to get to. You are already there. You are already the whole of the music. You are not just the end part. You are not just the beginning part. You are the process. And in that moment, you are finally free to dance. You are free to listen to the song of your own life, instead of spending all your time trying to force it to be a different song. You realize that the point of the music is not the end. The point is the music. So, what does this mean in the doing of your life? It means that this present moment is not a problem. It is not an obstacle. It is not just a stepping stone on the way to some better future. This moment is the music. This, whatever is happening right now, this is it. This is the entire point. But we are so deeply hypnotized. We are hypnotized by the future, and we are terrorized by the past. We are so busy worrying about what is to come and regretting what has been, that we are completely, utterly deaf and blind to what is. And of course, we are terrified of the final note. We call it death. And because we are so terrified of that final note, we don't listen to any of the music properly. We listen to it all with this background of anxiety. It is going to end. It is going to end. And so we don't really live. We are not here. We are in a state of perpetually resisting the very flow of life itself. We are clinging to the raft instead of being the river. But look, what is this? You that you are so afraid of losing, when you look at the ocean, you see a wave. It rises up. it takes a form, it crashes on the shore, and we say, the wave is gone. But where did it go? It didn't go anywhere. It simply returned to what it always was. It was never, for one moment, separate from the ocean. The wave was just a pattern that the ocean was doing. You are not a separate, you are not a little frightened ego trapped in a bag of skin. You are the ocean. You are the entire indivisible universe, peopling. You are the eternal underlying energy of all things. Waving, the birth was the on-beat, the death is the off-beat. But you, the real you are the rhythm. You are the whole thing when you see this, when you feel this, not as an idea, but as a direct, obvious fact. The game is up. The frantic struggle stops. The desperate need to control everything just evaporates, because you see there is nothing to control. There is no one to control it. The controller was just a part of the music, pretending to be the conductor. And in that, there is an immense sense of relief. You can finally let go. You can let go of this awful burden of having to run this show, of having to save your own soul. You don't have to. It was never your job. Your job, if we must use that word, is simply to be this breath, to be this sound, to be this astonishing, complex, intelligent, and utterly spontaneous flow. Don't try to find yourself. You'll just get lost. Don't try to improve yourself. You are not a thing to be polished. Don't try to get to the end. You are already there. You are in the destination. The journey is the destination. The music is the point. And it is playing right now. It is the only now there is. So listen, stop, and just listen.